Local families are also responding to the measles outbreak.
First Alert 6's Andrew Pfeiffer tells us what health experts in Omaha are getting ready for.
Super upsetting. You never want children to be, dying from something that was prior eradicated.
Eradicated since 2000, yet making a shocking return. Parents in Omaha nervous about the rising cases of measles in the U.S.
You just worry about the resurgence, and you're going to have an entire generation of kids that might be dealing with things that we thought were gone decades ago.
Dr. Rupp at Nebraska Medicine says even though there haven't been any cases in Nebraska, they're watching closely.
We have sent out information to all of our first-line providers to be on the lookout for people who may have come into contact with measles and present with the classic signs and symptoms, trying to make sure that we pick up those cases promptly.
According to the CDC, nearly 94% of kindergartners in Nebraska have been vaccinated for MMR this year. However, another 3.5% received an exemption. It's allowed for religious and medical reasons. It's concerning for some of the parents that we spoke with.
I just hope that everyone kind of does their due diligence as parents to not only keeping themselves safe, their family safe, but also the community safe.
Dr. Rupp's message to worried Nebraskans is clear.
We have a very effective vaccine, a very safe vaccine. This needs to be very much utilized to prevent people from getting sick.
In Omaha, Andrew Pfeiffer, First Alert 6.